Hello, it is me, the... Okay, I think I pretty much have everything here that I need. I, honest to God, forgot to open the V2 Studio before I did this. But, I think we're okay now. Oh. Where's me? Oh, frick, did I not? Frick. Heck. Wait. Yeah, why is it not? Oh, I'm off to the side, that's why. I was gonna say please. Right, okay, here you go. Here's me. Hello. It is I. Right here. Let me just, like, before I do that, just have me over there. I forgot. I knew I was forgetting something, and yet I forgot anyways. But, I hope that this is gonna work out okay. I think it's pretty much everything. But, yes. We are back with this absolute idiot that I love a lot. I don't know, so this is kind of improvised, because, again, controller issues and sound and whatnot. Honestly, I'll always be chilling and talking to you guys. Like, about anything, honestly. I'm just chilling. Enjoying Dummy. I like Dummy. I probably gotta adjust my camera a little bit, because that's the thing too, is like I change positions a lot anyways, right? Like, I just, yeah, I always want change spot change. But yeah, today we're just gonna chill. I mean, I already kind of spent earlier just kind of, granted that was very like on a whim, just like bullshit together. Like, I'm surprised that it didn't come out that jank. Like, honestly, it was probably pretty clean compared to a lot of my other streams so far. I actually liked how it came out. But, oh yeah, just talk about your day or whatever. We're just here. I'll do my best to compensate for the slow. I need to look into how to do that. I keep forgetting to, I swear. Putting us the balls are here. We're just chilling. But I don't know, I'm kind of, I was looking over like what I did today on my stream, and I don't know, I thought it was kind of, it felt more together. Like I found my groove pretty quickly, I feel. We'll see how it goes, but I'm kind of just vibing. I'm having fun. And it's funny too, because I was thinking about it, you know, how a lot of people say they struggle with, like, you know, finding things to talk about or this or that. My dumb ass just starts spouting off shit. Like, I was skipping to random parts in that entire 2-hour video, and, like, I could not find the part that, like, the longest I stayed quiet was probably, like, 20 seconds, maybe. Like, I don't know, you just keep rambling and just keep going off. It's like I never run out of shit to talk about, no matter what. My brain just is like, oh, you're quiet. Start saying something. I don't care what. And it's just like, okay. So today I wanted chicken nuggets. And have chicken nuggets I did. That was... It was the end of a long battle. I had like 20 fucking nuggets. Like, and it's like, I had 19 or 18 because Tofu took one. And like... I'm telling you, I was struggling to get that 19 with, but I was like, no, I want this now. And then I dropped it. I was very sad. I dropped it in my nugget. I was, and I wanted to eat it, but I knew Tofu would be like, Lucid, put the floor nugget down, Lucid. I was waiting for it, but I was like, no, you're right. I'll just accept my nuggetless day and move on, and I was very sad. But I mean, I still had like 18 other nuggets. So, and they had sauce. So you know what? For the last few months, I can't complain too much. My brush is too small. And I don't know, I just have fun. Like, I was in the controller stream, it felt nice to just tinker. I always kind of just like on and off, just like, you know, I need to start gonna tearing this thing apart or this thing. And it's like, oh, it's just very fun to me to just randomly do that. And it's funny too, because I always forget, I'm sure I've noted it numerous times, but I always do forget things that I say. So for me, it's almost like a new experience, like, oh yeah, I did that, or I did that? Like, it's like, yeah, that's a pretty Lucid-esque thing to do or say, like rant about chicken nuggets for 20 minutes. But I don't know, it's funny to me, and I do find it kind of amusing in its own regard. I found the wrong layer. God damn it. That, I don't know. It's like, I don't like having those memory fog moments. Nobody does. But I mean, there's always a good in everything, I guess. Silver lining, I think it's called. It's like, it's not exactly the best thing to not remember a lot of things. But the thing is, too, is like, I spout off a lot of things anyways. To remember all the things that I say would take up a lot of memory. Like, I don't know how much memory a brain has. I think it's like something like exabytes or some shit like that. Like, I have like kilobytes. I have a solid, I'd say 690 kilobytes of memory in my head. And what I see, it balances out because the amount of memory that I retain from events is so small and compressed that it balances out mostly. And every experience is like a new experience. This is not a good thing. Please don't take after me on that. It's weird. Like, I remember seeing this meme where it was like, when you walk into a room and you go to do something, and then you do everything else except for that thing that you did, and then you realize you have to walk back into that room, and it's like, my goals are beyond my understanding, and it's like, okay, yeah. It's frustrating sometimes, I'm not gonna lie. But I mean, that's why, like, I write things down, that kind of thing. Written reminder's good. I actually have a timer set here for 7 o'clock, so I don't miss my goddamn Society live again on Stars. I feel really dumb about that, because, like, with how much I wailed in that game, I'm, like, carrying half of the... Okay, not half, but I'm carrying a good 4 people, probably, equivalency, because of how much I have on there. Unless I'm just having a steady income. But it's like, I don't know, it's not really the trade-off for the emotional state. It's a chance that few people get, so I don't know, I'm just trying to do something to keep something entertained is all. I was talking to my heterosexual anonymous roommate the other day. This one. And it's like, I was having some perspective moments. It's like, I feel bad because there's been a lot of overlap on a few things that I've like been thinking about between how I watch, you know, heterosexual roommate and Tofu, how they kind of just public work isn't easy. Customer service work sucks. It's just not a great time. You have to deal with the public. Those guys are mean. And it's like, yes, everybody has to deal with it or whatever, but the thing is, like, nobody wants to. So, like, the fact that I don't have to is just, I don't know. It's like, I like that, obviously, but I feel kind of bad sometimes when I see, you know, said roommate or Tofu or whoever, you know, it's like, they have to put up with that, and I don't. And it's like, you know, I see, like, other streamers, too, how, like, they have to go to work or their significant other or whatever, and it's like, I know that pain, and I'm not doing it, and it's just, I don't know. I guess a lot of it is kind of ingrained too, where it's like, because my stepmom used to like yell at my dad a lot too. I shouldn't be trauma dumping too much about this. I'll change the subject, but it's like I want to make a. I forgot where the original point I was going with this was. Fuck. I apologize. I was going to make a point with that. I just forgot what it was. I got kind of there for a second. But, I mean, at least, I remember where I was going now, but, like, they said they'd been, like, they said they would rather see me here doing this because I give them that, like, level of enjoyment, and, like, that's what I originally was thinking when I started doing this, right, is, like, I have this chance I could, like, at least do this much for them, since that's kind of what I was, like, thinking, and I had those kind of talents or whatever. It's just, I don't know, that was part of the point I was gonna make, but I forgot what the actual conclusion was. Was there gonna be a conclusion? Probably not. But I'm just very happy to to be in this situation. And I don't know. Man, when I ramble way too much, I swear. But, like, again, it makes for good having on in the background. Which, again, I really don't mind, because I totally get that. Like, it's like I'm a white noise machine, but, like, I yell a lot. It's like it's like a bad Apple Music video machine. It's not like a white noise, it's like a one constant sound or anything like that. It's just like a constant up and down, but like it's still something that's like just to have there. Like I don't know, I get it, I feel it, I really do. Oh, also, when I was talking about the screws earlier in that other stream, the controller, I finally thought of a way to describe it correctly about how I liked using those screws. It's like, if you took like the Omanju balls, you know, like the little like these things, but like, you know, the physical ones, like merch, and you squeeze those, right? It's like there's a resistance to that, like a soft resistance, and it's like it's squishy, and it feels like, I don't know how is the best way I can describe that with like these screws. They were very like the resistance of it was like you could tell what you were doing. It wasn't too loose, but like it was great. That was honestly a really fun experience. Like, Sony has their issues, obviously, every company does. But out of all the hardware I've worked with, I always love working with Sony hardware the most. It's just so much easier. Because like with Nintendo and Microsoft, you know, it's like a lot. Nintendo's probably the big hello. Nintendo's probably the biggest pain in the ass to work with hardware, because you know it's Nintendo. But like with Sony, everything is just so much nicer. When I opened up that controller and like how everything was, because on PS4 controllers, right, it's like the when you go to take off the back, there's like a little ribbon cable there. It's what connects the charging port and the light bar to the rest of the controller. And like you always have to be careful with that and make sure that, you know, you don't break it when you take it out and all that. There was none of that on the PS5 controller. It was just so much of a nicer experience. It was great. It really was. And hopefully I can mess around with that enough to eventually have something to use with that. I really hope that we can figure that out. I feel kind of bad. I feel really bad that to be fair, like I get that I don't have that big of an audience right now. It's just like my friends, but it's like I said I was gonna do this thing, and then I couldn't because of my controller issues, or the sound issues rather. So like, I really appreciate you guys and like understanding and all that. I really am trying. But aside from that, my mouth is dry. It sounds like I'm like sad or something like that. I'm not. I'm just, my mouth is dry and I need to. Okay, hello. Little mental reset. I'm saying but a lot. I don't know, it's like a great way for me to like remember what the hell I was saying or doing somehow. I gotta change this because I'm leaning over to the side a little bit now. But I just... Okay, hang on. I need to find a ramble subject. I'm like I'm trying to ramble about all the things at once and I could... Wait, no, I already talked about that. Shit. Just... Honestly, what I want to talk about right now, since, if anybody else wants to talk about something, by the way, do feel free. But, there I go again. I just feel really happy with how much I've made progress, like, in my figuring out things, which I finally just got off my ass and did it. A lot of it was, like, inherent paranoia of, you know, oh, what if it isn't that good with this or that? But, like, I don't even take my own advice of what I tell people, where it's like, you know, the only difference is that you don't have that content, you know, it's like, you can wait and have a better setup, or you can have a mid setup and get something out, and I was like, I don't even take my own advice on that half the time. And it's just, I feel like it is pretty good advice overall, at least, you know, with... It changes per platform, of course, because of, like, how those different things work, but... the different search functions, is that the word? I mean, I don't know, but it's just, like... Overall, I'm just very happy with how far I have progressed. I looked at that stream and I was like, man, I actually don't sound that bad. Like, I actually feel like I liked my little laugh there, and like, it's just a lot of the stuff I'm not used to liking about myself. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, honestly. It's like, it's not like I necessarily dislike it, it's just... There's a lot of features about myself that a lot of people have grown to like that I'm still getting used to in that regard, you know? It's like a lot of advice that I give, I don't usually take myself, which is kind of sucky in that way. I'm getting very sad on this. I'm so sorry, I'm not trying to. It's not even, like, I don't feel sad when I talk about it. It's just, like, that's really how I feel. It's like, I just need to take the advice I give to people, like, because a lot of it is where I want to do good for people, and I kind of do nothing as a result of that, like, inherent, you know, need to do better. But you gotta balance it out. That's what I keep saying too, is like, there's no like simple answer to anything really in life. Here I go on my Nagisa tangent again on the drawing stream, but see, that's exactly the thing though. It's like, everybody's different. Literally, I keep saying that. It's like one of the biggest things, and I need to get used to that in myself, I guess, is the best way I can try to put it. I don't know, I'm definitely getting better with what I'm doing. What I'm really surprised about is just how fast that my things keep changing. Because before, I'd always like reach some kind of stumbling block, and I'd be like, okay, well I gotta fix that now. And then I'd like work on trying to perfect that and this and that before going back, and then find something else is wrong. But I can like, even if I'm not focusing as hard on improving directly between streams, it's like, by having more sample material, I guess you can say, there's more that I can see what really needs, like, what is and isn't working, I guess. Because the thing is, too, is, like, even though I'm not really... How do I put this? I want to make content for our people, question mark? Like, I know that my style of a lot of things, right, like, my rambles, my talking, how I have the server set up, so, like, you know, pour your heart out type thing, a lot of that kind of stuff just isn't for some people, you know. It's like, some people don't want to sit there and listen to you, you know, pour your heart out and sob over a character or whatever, like, you know, that's fair, and, like, it's... I'm trying to think of a way to explain it, but I guess what I'm trying to get at is... Shit, that's the wrong thing. Is it no. Just, I want to make content for us, because when I was, like, growing up, I guess, I don't know, I wish I had more I could say about characters, like, because, to be fair, when I was growing up, there was, like, you have to be a little bit more closeted, at least in where I was, about, like, liking Otome games, and, you know, the characters there or whatever. It was, like, 11th grade, I think, that I finally just uncloseted myself and kind of just accepted it. And, like, my IRL friend group, I'm not gonna lie, has probably just not regarded me the same since, low-key. But that's the thing, though, it's like, the people that were part of that friend group that I still have contact to, like, consistently to this day. I mean, hell, one of them is my, very, heterosexual roommate. It's like, sometimes you just... Some people you really just vibe with better. I'm going off on the biggest tangent ever. Please. I mean, I guess that's fine. That's what you're here for. And I am here to provide. Oh, that's something I was reminded of the other day. Not reminded, but I was thinking of the other day too. It's like, I don't really feel like this is putting Cerulean on the spot. I just, cause my friend group, you know, you guys that are here watching this, my early content here right now, it's like, y'all really had a big impact on my growth. Like, to be fair, I based a lot of my growth on the people around me more than myself because of other issues, whatever, blah blah blah, in the past. And it's like, I don't know how to put it in a way that makes, like, concrete sense, but I guess that's kind of the point, is that emotions don't do that. But even, like, when you guys were talking to me, a lot of you said, like, you know, found... Like, I know Sarah said that, like, changed a lot of things, how she sees the world, I guess, you know, stuff like that. How she sees the internet and talking to people. It's like, it's a very different world, for sure, between, like, time periods and just different people that you talk to. Oh god, what color did I use here? You just gotta keep that on me. I'll clean up my line work. I'm thinking. Like, I want to clean up my line work, but I also know I'm probably gonna paint over it anyways, because if I'm going where I think I'm going with this drawing, then none of this line work's actually gonna be used, really. It'll be, like, drawn over, that's about it. Where was I? I go telling my old man stories again. But, I was talking about Sarah and how I changed how she saw things. Right. And I'm trying to think of a good, like, way to progress from what I just went over, because it's like, I don't want to mess up people's paths, I guess I should say. Is that a good way to put it? Probably not. But I know it's a very hard balance, right, between, like, what people like versus what people can do. I always find myself hard, like, it's hard for me to give that kind of advice to people a lot of the time, exactly because of how privileged I was with a lot of things, how those turned out in my life. But, like, at the same time, too, it's like, it's not much, but it's something, you know? It's like, I think about a lot. I do a lot of, like, back and forth in my head about how I feel about certain things, how I should be doing certain things to help show my friends I care about them or whatever. Because honestly, it's like I'm in a situation where a lot of people don't have that kind of freedom, and it's like I think about it and I think, oh well, you know, like if I did that, you know, maybe I could show them that it's like, and it's like, what would suggesting myself to the same thing they're doing do? Because like the extra income would basically just be extra luxuries. It wouldn't really change anybody's situation or what they have to put up with. And they, you know, have said themselves, you know, Lucid, Tofu said like he kind of lives vicariously through me in some regards of that. Other people have said, you know, I give him something to do. I give him something. It's funny because I was talking a while ago, like a long while ago, about how like I was talking to the guy who I talk about every now and then, the person who does music at the studio nearby where I used to work, and how I was talking about how he was like the contagious good energy and all that, and how I wanted to be like that. I went through a lot of character arcs over that. Like a lot of just random sobbing. And like not necessarily like a bad, like, you know, like mental breakdown sobbing, it's like a melt. I go through a lot of those, honestly, just thinking about it. It's weird. A lot of the time I think about just how I changed so much in the last year, you know? It's like... I can't think of a good way to put it without like getting too into it, right? But I don't want to be too dramatic about it, but by the end of what was it, 2021 I think it was, yeah, that's when I first started doing not, you know, being in the control things. And it's just weird to think about because that was such a short time ago, like comparatively. I was still like a minor basically growing up until I was like 20 I think, and it's just like, okay, go get a job now, and it's just like, okay. It's like just taking out all those things. Like it feels like it's faster than it was in some regards, and in others it doesn't. Like I was thinking about like things I've done, like as far as like things I like, right? Like when I started liking this or that, and it felt like it was so much longer ago than it actually was. But it's weird in the other regard too, because like I'll be thinking, you know, oh, it wasn't that long that I had to put up with, you know, this or that, or I had to do certain things that most children shouldn't have to. And it's like, you think that it was only like a few months or something like that, and then I look at like timestamps and different things, like, no, that lasted for a few years. It's just weird how time perception works like that, Lucky. But, back to what I think I was trying to say was like, I don't know, it's like, because I'm in a situation like that, I want to do something better for everybody, but everybody says that they like what I'm doing. Or at least, you know, everybody that I talk to that I'm concerned about in that regard. So it's just, I don't know, I feel really lucky in a lot of ways to be able to have that kind of influence on the same people that have really given me a lot. I'm not trying to keep getting into these deep, I've been doing a lot of like these deep talks lately, I don't know, it's like, to me it's not really that deep, I guess. It's kind of like surface level for me. Well, not surface level, to me this is just the kind of stuff that my brain just kind of rattles off at like 3 in the morning or whatever when I can't sleep. So I really do have a lot of fun, just, even if I'm just rambling off to nobody, just knowing, you know, hearing you guys talk about, you know, funny little things you hear or whatever. It's like, I'm doing this kind of stuff anyways, I'm talking all this stuff, I'm rambling anyways. So, it makes me happy when you guys talk about how you like that stuff and whatnot. It makes me feel like I'm doing things the way I want to. And I don't mean... It almost feels like the opposite when I say it like that, but it's like, I have the influence that I wanted to. I was able to just... I was able to just make people feel happy. At the end of the day, that really is... It sounds stupid and cliche, I know, it's just... At the end of the day, that really is all I want to do, it's just... I write a lot of my emotion, and you know, people criticize me in the past on that, you know, like, oh, you depend too much on others for your happiness or whatever, and it's like... For me personally, I just get really bored otherwise, you know, it's like, oh, you can sit here and be successful and do this and that, and it's like... Bro, I'd be bored. Like, straight, I wouldn't feel happy. I like talking to people, I like trying to figure out, like, people... just that when, you know, they don't, it's a very hard thing to figure out. It's like, you know, a blessing and a curse or whatever. But I mean, in a lot of ways too, it's like it has driven me to make connections and vibe with people that have ended up having a very good effect on me. And, you know, those people in turn influencing others as well. I don't know, it's just, I like having that kind of sense of community where it's... I'm trying to think of a way to put it. Not even like a good way, just a way to put it. It's really hard for me to quantify a lot of how I'm feeling. It's just like, like, that's why the puddle emote is there. Because that's how I feel a lot of the time, really. I feel so grateful for a lot of the things that I have now. And I know a lot of it's like commonplace or whatever for a lot of people, but for some of them it really isn't. And I don't know, it's weird because seeing like both sides, I guess I could say. I don't know, it's just I'm just very happy. I mean, I've heard him say it before, but it's just... I like being able to sit here and talk. Like, I know nobody's talking, I'm just sitting here prattling off, but... I like doing it. I like sitting here and just... Because it helps me think, too. When I talk out loud, it helps me think, and helps me organize my thoughts. It's very cathartic in a way for me. Like, low-key, I know that Natsume told me about the bucket thing over on the drawing, but honestly, I kind of like just doing it the slow way like this. It helps me control things more manually, which I know you could fine-tune later on, but it's also like, it's more cathartic for me too. It's kind of like the satisfaction like level, you know? I'm slowly just going through it all. I don't know, it's like cathartic for me in a way. Just sitting here and... I don't know. Hopefully I can get something done with my controller here so that way it's a little bit quieter. The electrical tape will be here soon enough. So I'm gonna like make the most like jank stuff on this channel. Like I already have like plans in the making for a Groove Coaster controller, like the little boosters. I have ideas, I just don't have money to execute them right now. But I do have ideas. Very stupid ones. But they'll probably work. But in the meantime, I mean, I have a bunch of stuff here and we're figuring things out, you know? It's definitely not like I have like a bad setup or anything. It's not the greatest. No. But it's definitely a pretty good one. And we have a lot of cool stuff here with like our computer and whatnot, and we have resources. Maybe not as many resources as I'd like to start out with, but like that's the thing, is like a lot of people don't have those resources anyways. It's definitely more about building your personal like people skills resources. That's one thing I got in like a lot of jobs that I work too, is like, you know, oh Christy, you know, the customers like you or this or that, or you know, customer service isn't what you can train into people and this and that, and it's like, yeah, I cry a lot because of it. But no, regardless of that, it's like, that is a skill I've noticed that is harder to come to a lot of people. And some people just don't care enough to try to maintain it. And it's like, I feel both sides. But, I don't know. Something in me just prioritizes that. Maybe it's my unhealthy need to be liked. But, I wouldn't even call it that. Like, it's not necessarily a need to be liked by people. It's a need to... It's like the quality over quantity thing, right? Like, I definitely coin myself as, like, you know, attention greedy or whatever, but it's like... It's not necessarily just to have in general. I like having those genuine interactions. I like talking with people and just hearing about what they do, you know? Because one of my favorite things to do is, like, you know, I'm sure you noticed, is just sitting there and just love mailing, just kind of talking about characters or this or that, whatever special interest. I remember one time, I forgot what the context was, but I was looking through my messages with Saru, and I think I was like sick, or like maybe I had like high blood sugar or something like that. I was talking about something and I was just like, I couldn't sleep, and I asked her, you know, if she isn't busy to keep me company for a minute, you know, do whatever. And I ended up knocking out about an hour afterwards, which is exactly when she responded, actually, so I wasn't there for it. But it was, I almost cried. I did cry. It was really sweet, just like, I love reading about people like that. I love reading about like their days and all that. It's really nice. She just gave me a little walkthrough, you know, it's like a day in the life of Seru. And she's like kind of like using me as like a little mini journal in a sense, you know, like, oh, you know, this happened or that happened. Oh, I lost my lunch bar or whatever, but I found a different one from the other day, and it's like, it's just all these small little things, and I was just, it was just very sweet. Oh, I'm tearing up. Just a little bit though. It was just very sweet to read through. It's just, I don't know, maybe that's why I'm good at reactions to, even if I'm not getting any content, because I'm very emotional and like just overall it can be it's like a double-edged sword. I'm very easy to like upset in that way, where it's like I feel bad, and it's very easily taken advantage of, but I'm getting better about that. And like in general, it's like certain things just hit me very hard, and that's definitely one of them. It's just like seeing people that I care for, or even people that I like not that much, right? Like the other day I was God, I can't remember his name right now, but basically it's just like this guy that like kind of looks into like stupid like tech mysteries, not necessarily tech related, but like I think the end I got to his channel is like he's talking about like the long lost McDonald's Nintendo DS and like the training game it had, and like how it like lost to time or whatever, and he got a copy, blah blah blah, and put it on the like archived it. Just like dumb internet mysteries like that. And we've all seen, I feel, the infamous Microsoft Bimbos image, you know, like the haha, the funny cheap knockoff. It's actually a it was quite the opposite. It was a shit post. It was like a small computer repair store, basically kind of like, or used computer parts store, I think it was. It wasn't necessarily repairs, but it was like parts. And he started going on like this, you know, big hunt and journey. He's like documenting all of it. This is like a couple of years ago that this video came out, but it still hit me very hard. And I remember, fuck, I'm tearing up just thinking about it. This is like, it was so sweet though, cause like, he was talking about how like he was trying to find the original, like the first instance of this like image, the Microsoft Bimbos. And he found the first instance, like the very first instance of this term ever being used on the internet, and it was indeed the original uploader. It was just this guy, like this, I can't think of his name right now, but it's just like this guy that lives in Japan. He's like this 56-year-old, he's just like 50, 60-year-old somewhere in there, where he just kind of documents things he sees. It's just little small things like that, you know, like, oh, you know, this plant was here, like, you know, because he like takes pictures of stuff that he walks by. Like, that's one of the examples where like, he took a picture of a train station, like 5 years ago, and then he went back and took a picture of it like a few years later, and you got to see like the plants growing in the background. He was like, why does this area look so empty this one day, you know? And then he looks back, thank you, yes, Nick Robinson, thank you. And it's just, yeah, and he was talking about just little things like that. He's just going through his day and just documenting things. It's called Al's Room if you want to check it out. You can also just look at again, like Tobu said, Nick Robinson's video on Microsoft Bimbos. Like, when you go to watch a video about the origins of Microsoft Bimbos, you wouldn't expect to be sitting there sobbing and inconsolable from how, like, because that stuff hits me really hard, just small things like that people just enjoy. It sounds dumb in a lot of ways, but that's the thing, it's like, for me, it's just, when they say it's the small things in life, to me that really is just like really what defines a lot of the things that, I don't know. It's just, I don't know, man. It's just this guy going through and just like, oh, you know, this and that, and I saw this nice tree, and like there's just years of this documentation. Like, he's not necessarily talking to anybody in particular. He's just talking about his day. He's just posting about this man's entire, like, last 20 years of his life is just archived on this little website of his, this little passion project he just kind of threw together, just because. It's just, that's just the coolest thing to me ever. Like, just It's always just something about the raw passion aspect to me that's just, it really hits me close. Like, it really hits me close in my heart. Just having that raw passion, having that... I don't know how I'd even refer to it, honestly. It's just... To me, it's just the sweetest thing. When somebody just has a drive, or not even necessarily like to do like any grand achievement or some crap like that, right? It's just... They're just doing their thing. They enjoy doing that, and they just have all the time in the world to just write that stuff, you know? Maybe not all the time in the world, but like, you know, for the last 20 years, that's a lot of stuff to just be putting out there. It's just like the sweetest, it's just the coolest thing, man. I don't know. Yeah. I'm cheering up low. I love small things like that. It's just... Technology is definitely a strong point, or a passion of mine in that regard too. Like, I had a neighbor that was like this old guy, like, he was already retired, you know, he used to work in, the architecture of the city that I live in. He was just like a really chill guy. He was like this really... You could definitely tell he was like older, right? He's probably like in his 60s or 70s, like, you know, he's up there, but the thing is, like, he was very friendly. He like was definitely a respite for me, I feel, when time went on and things got more and more stressy at home. It was definitely a fun place or a fun conversation, right? I just realized I changed my colors like 5 times throughout this. Oops. Oh, I'm gonna write over this anyways. But yeah, man, it's just... And I remember too, he was talking, and the way his eyes lit up when he was talking about this, right? He was talking about, because he saw I was showing him some stuff on my Switch. I was showing him like, or maybe he was on my computer, I don't remember. But I was showing him a game that I was playing, I forgot what it was, and like, I was showing him like the higher settings on the graphics. They weren't like amazing or anything, because I couldn't afford, you know, the greatest technology, but, you know, for somebody there, you know, that's not like experience in video games or anything like that. It's just like the coolest thing, you know, provided they're not mean about it, like, you know, a lot of, but he always thought it's the coolest thing that, you know, there's this whole like world and like you know, imagination just being let out on that screen like that. And he was just, and I remember he was talking about how one of his friends like had a Switch and like she played one game and it was Animal Crossing, and he always like talked about how cool it was, the little guys, and like walk around with the thing, like they do their thing, and it's just then build a little town, and he was just so... You could hear the excitement in his voice, you could see like his eyes lighting. It was like the best thing, man, it really was. It was just so sweet to see, like... And that's where a lot of my passion, I feel, too, is in like... Between technology and creation, is just... Using the math, and then using like the creative minds behind that to just create things that we couldn't normally, you know? Like, even these concepts now, like, me drawing this character is like, I mean, yeah, you could draw it like traditionally, but there's a bunch of like mistakes you can make and blah blah blah, and it's like, why, you know? That's why I ended up making that decision and selling a bunch of my comics. And I was like, you know, 'cause every time I go to do traditional, I always make some kind of mistake and get discouraged, and it's like, well, I could definitely, you know, so I know how to use the marker, it's just that it sucks when you're like working on something and then mess it up, and it's like, it's gone now. Okay. You gotta have to like try to find a way to work around it or fix it or whatever. And like, you know, traditional art is great. It has its own merits and it's very cool. But with how I use a lot of my media anyways, and like digital applications, you know, printing onto other things or whatever, I definitely get the merits of like handmade items. Don't get me wrong, I love handmade items. But for me, the fact that technology gives you that edge to just create with less boundaries, I guess, or I don't know how to put it. But it's definitely something that I've become very attached to. There's a lot of things that people have said and still say, right? Like between like digital art or whatever, this or that, people like investing themselves in fictional characters, but like the thing is, people can like differentiate that, and if they can't, then yes, that's an issue, right? But I've seen a lot of people like struggle with identity, and myself included, right? Myself, my friends, you know, just a lot of people struggle with like that kind of like identity, and there's a difference when like people like become delusional over it, but it's also like if you're just when you're still finding yourself, right? You don't. It's not something you just like figure out and that's a one and done thing that's over, right? Like your identity, who you are, is gonna change a lot. Like, that's not something that you just kind of find, and like, you know what, if a fictional character is something that helps you see that, it's really, in my opinion anyways, right? Because how I see a lot of things is like, you know, if it's not hurting anybody else, then, or, you know, hurting you or anybody else, then why not, that kind of thing. I mean, yes, there's exceptions to the rule, but generally speaking. But, I mean, hell, I've never really had a questioning time, because I never really considered who I really was, you know? So when the time came where I could be my own person, which I never really expected would happen, I was not in a great headspace at the time. And when I just started thinking about it, you know, and I still do have a lot of those moments where it's like, you know, what am I gonna do? You know, who am I? What am I working on? And that's part of why I like having, you know, support from people too. It's like, I'm not necessarily how do I put this? I'm not depending on them in the way where people put it, where it's like, I'm helpless or this or that. It's just, that's kind of why we have, you know, societies in place or whatnot, right? It's just, you get more done because you have different minds on the table. You can think about things that you like, things that other people have done that you know, resonate with. Like, not everybody's gonna cooperate the same way, but there's definitely some people that are gonna just click better, and that's, you know, that's just, use that. It's really, that's what I've come to the conclusion on too, is like, just because you have your situation better than somebody else doesn't make you less in that regard. Like, bringing yourself down to whatever situations other people put themselves through isn't gonna make you a better person in that regard either. It's about what you do with your situation. I almost feel hypocritical way when I say that, because I'm, you know, it's just hard for me because while I am, you know, a small scale streamer in that regard, it's like I don't really... See, a lot of that is inherent too with like people that I've talked to in the past, like you're just sitting there playing video games or whatever, and it's like, but I mean, people that are working, you know, to keep me here or whatever, they like watching my stuff, they feel happy, and they've told me that, you know, they appreciate that enough where I can, that's basically my bread, is just making people happy. Like that's I've become apparently that good at that, where I can just like make people feel safe, make them feel comfortable. And it's funny too, like when I was deemed a server mom, like in our society server, it's just funny to me, because when I was growing up and I had my own mom friends, right? So, like growing up throughout high school, internet friends, etc. And I never would have ever thought in a million years that I would be that like comfort figure, where people turn to me and, you know, ask me, you know, what to do about this or that, or, you know, just for a minute to talk. I never like would have thought of myself as like that collected in that regard, where people would not even expect, but ask that of me, I guess. Like think that I'm capable of that, I guess, is the best way I can put it. It's just very endearing to me in a lot of ways, you know, aside from being so like actually sustained. It's just, I don't know, I find it so endearing. It's just cool. It's really cool. Everybody's like, they just talk to me about, you know, things they do, things they're proud of. Like, they DM me. Like, people will just ask me, you know, or, you know, my friends or whatever, they'll ask me, what do you think of this? You know, I did this, I think it's really cool, or can I get feedback on this? And we'll just talk about their creations for a while, and it's just the coolest thing to me that people are coming to me and asking about that kind of stuff, you know? Oh, I messed that up. It's fine, I'll probably draw over it anyways. But I just think it's the coolest thing that... I just love hearing about people's interests. I really, really do. It's just... it's so great to feel like that raw passion. That's like a big thing for me. I know I just said that like 5 minutes ago, I'm sure, or 20, however long I've been rambling for. But you know what? It's like, I just love hearing. I really do. Just anything. Sometimes I can't necessarily say as much. Like I remember one time Sarah DM'd me with like a project she was working on, and it's like I told her like straight up, you know, I don't know what's going on in this because I'm not like on that level of bio, but I can still see like the amount of effort she put in. You know, you could tell she lined things up. It wasn't just a half-ass thing. The fact she said it to me, period. You know, it's like I just love seeing that. And I hope that as time goes on, I can meet more people and hear more of those stories too, because the thing is with that, is that with everybody's experiences, I can make my own too, like, vicariously in that way. That's a word, right? It's like, all the experiences that people go through, you can learn from those too. Maybe certain things didn't work for other people that will work for you, or vice versa. But in the end, experiences are all things that you can just kind of look at and figure out. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that, but like, at least it's worth the try, I guess is the way I could put it. It's like, I don't know, it's like, a lot of people too say how like, you know, their personalities aren't like their own, right? It's just like little bits and pieces of this or that. That's kind of how personalities are made. You're influenced by the people around you. Like, another thing is like with art styles, right? When you look at somebody's art style, they get inspiration from somewhere, usually, right? Like, it's just kind of how that works as a creative media. It's not something that's like concrete with a solid answer. It's, you draw inspiration of things that you like, and that's what you resonate with, that's what you feed off into your own work. And a lot of that is definitely how personality, in my opinion, how personalities work too, right? Like, I don't mind, like, my speech mannerisms and all that. A lot of it's just a big hodgepodge, you know, clusterfuck of all the things that I've learned from people that I like. Mimicking behaviors or whatever, it's like, it sounds dumb out of context, but at the same time it's like, what do you want to do? Like, be original about your personality in every regard. Like, I don't know, it just feels weird to think about that way. I definitely consider, I don't think of a good way to put it. It's just, I'm not sure how I want to put it. Now again, I get what they're saying, right? Because I've been on both sides of that. Maybe not necessarily felt it, but it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, why would you be that adamant about having like your quote-unquote own personality, I guess? Like, because in the end, a personality is just how you feel and how you react. Like, that's just what you are, and like, I don't know how to put it in a way that makes sense. But I mean, it's kind of like what I say just about psychology and people in general, is that there's a lot of in-betweens, right? There's no solid answer for almost any problem when it comes down to like how people think. That's just kind of how the brain works, you know? It's like, it's very hard to define lines of what's quote-unquote good and bad and whatnot. Scenarios are gonna all play differently, brain chemistries are all gonna play differently. And it's like, I understand if like you're very adamant or like aggressive about it, I guess I can say, but like you know, like, what's the word? I think it's called, I can't remember what the exact name of it is right now, but I gotta sneeze here now. There it is. Oh my god. Delusional. Yes, that one. I don't know why I was thinking the other thing. I was like, that's not. Anyways, yes, it's like, cause there are people, you know, like on that level where like they're aggressive about it, you know. Yeah, like, I don't know. It's a weird headspace. It's hard to describe. It really is. But to me, as long as you're not like an aggressive asshole about it, right? Like either way. Like, there are some people where it's like, I've been to servers, and it's like, you can't have your profile picture be this character because I kin this character and they're me. And it makes me feel really uncomfortable when you have me as your profile, and it's like, homie, so this is just somebody's OC. Yeah, like, surprise, all canon characters are just somebody's OCs, basically. It is weird that you think you're literally, like, like, at that point when you're being an asshole about it, right? But, like, when it comes down to just, like, you know, this character's just me, like, I feel like it's a big part of, like, how I see things, too, is just, like, the aggression levels. When it's, like, I get it if somebody's, like, actively trying to make you uncomfortable, but it's, like, when you're not in a forced household situation or something like that, where you have to, like, put up with people specifically, work or whatever, you can just, you know, I'm trying to think of a way to put this. Yeah, I gotta, like, make like in between of these two. I mean, again, to be fair, this is all just my personal opinions anyways, but like, I don't know, you always have the option to just not talk to people too, is the thing. It's like, you know, oh, you don't get along on this subject, or that's like, you know, this person wants you to do something you don't want to, then you don't, unless, you know, you have to, so like, there's a lot of interactions, you just don't have to, you know? This person makes you uncomfortable, or this or that, then don't interact. The block button exists. Like, personally, I like talking things out anyways, but if you really don't feel safe doing that, then you don't have to. Nobody's making you. And I feel like, I don't know, it'd be nice if people could talk things out more, but sometimes you just can't talk things out with people, like, straight up. And I get it, like, it's hard. In the end, it's just a lot easier sometimes, like, you know, agree to disagree or this and that. Like, if that's an option, then by God, use it. I struggle a lot with still trying to maintain that with different situations. But, you know, sometimes relationships are worth holding on to, like platonic or romantic or whatever, if there's something to salvage there. But if it comes to the point where somebody's being very adamant, something that very adamantly makes you not okay, I just, in my opinion, that isn't. If you can't talk it out and you can't, like, there are other people. I forgot what the original reason I went on this tangent was, but I don't know. For me, it's like I know that a lot of things that I say people won't vibe with in a lot of regards. My stupid Zoomer humor and this or that, how I refer to certain things, how I'm like really. I'm down cataclysmic in a lot of things that I say. And just dumb little things like that. And if that doesn't make you comfortable, then again, it's like different content for different people, and that's the way it is, and that is perfectly okay, you know? But
The pain, it's like candy canes. It makes me change into a better frame, into a better name. Society's insane, we all live for fame.
I don't know, it's just for me, I want to be somebody that can be there for people like me, I guess? So it's not even necessarily like that, right? It's just people that have those traits where I get it. When I understand something, I'll do my best to help out as far as that goes, because it's like, I went through a lot of those similar things, even recently, and it's like, I don't want people to go through that. Like, identity issues fucking suck. And that's, I don't know. Maybe one day, something in my stupid little ramblings will stick to somebody. Who knows who? One of you guys watching now, somebody in the VOD gang, somebody 30, like, I don't know, a few years down the line, right? That's kind of been my philosophy for a while, where a lot of people say that kind of stuff, but it doesn't really stick, I feel. Where it's, if I can help people out, even just by a little teeny bit, you know, one person or whatever, that's better than just me sitting there and just doing nothing, to me. It really is important to me to just make people, because when people are, like, you know, they have fun watching my content, or they talk about the things they like, whether it's related to my content or, you know, other content that they like anyways, it's like, I just like hearing about it. And the thing too is, like, I like seeing people's reactions to things, how they feel about certain things. It's just... I guess that aspect of it is, like, just something that I hold very close to my heart in that way. Just... because I know a lot of people have kind of just... I don't know, they kind of just lose that over time. I know exactly what it is. Like, I've gone through it myself, and it's like... it's just, like, really fucking sad to go through and see. It's not like a permanent thing, of course, but... without something to usually change that, a lot of the times it kind of is, and it's just really fucking, like... it sucks, it really does. There's a lot of things that are lost in that, you know? Like, again, it's a hard balance, because with some people, it's like, they're gonna be, you know, whatever about certain things anyways, it's just... it's very hard. I mean, also, there's no set answer to this. The VTuber with, like, sitting here drawing an anime boy is gonna have all the answers, right? But... I don't know, it just really sucks when I see that in people. You see it a lot, where just... pressures or this or that, you know, people they talk to, some kind of fallout. Something always... or... there's a lot of the times that things just kind of fuck up, and then it's just... it starts going downhill. I mean, a lot of people... a lot of us have gone through that kind of stuff, and it sucks, man. It really does. It's really sucky to see. I don't know, man. It's just... I mean, I can't change the world here, right? I'm not... it's just... I can sit here and complain about it all day, but... at the end, I can't do much about it, aside from just doing what I know that I've been told. Because that's the best thing you can get, or, you know, learn from, is what people are saying if you're trying to work with people. At least the people that, you know, the people whose opinions you know reflect your own goals. I feel like a way to put that. And it's just... if I can make those people happy, at the very least, right, then I'm fine. Like, I mean, I know, again, it's like, oh, you're living there or whatever, but it's like... there's a difference between passing, you know, like, oh, you know, you're doing good, so, like... it's hard for me to describe in words. Alright, that was kind of cool. I might mess with the things a little bit. But, it's like, well, like I mentioned the last time when I was, like, talking about, like, expectations, I guess, when I was doing the stream with, Final Fantasy. It's like... it has nothing to do with, you know, standards from others or whatever, as far as that goes. It's more like what I want to show you. For all that you've given me, and what I want to give back, there's still a bit of a discrepancy I feel there. And it's like, obviously I'm not gonna get there in like one day, right? Like, I gotta work up to it, like, straight up. And that's what I want to get to. Is just something that... oh, my thing. Okay. But yeah, it's just like... I definitely want to get to a point where... I don't know if that's really a point, per se, it's just... because I always... every time I get better, like... when I first started looking at myself and things I wanted to change... if I saw me where I'm at right now, and like didn't know it was me, I'd probably like be like, yeah, I want to be like that. But now that I'm at that point, it's like, well, no, I want to be something greater. I want to strive to do more for people who just continually are here to support me. Like, there's 4 of you here right now. Like, damn! It's a lot more than a lot of people can say to just consistently have, you know? Oh, that looks kind of cool. And it's like... it's a hard balance too, because a lot of people struggle with like what they want to do versus like what people want to see, you know? But for me too, it's like I have a set audience, and if I don't find that right away, then I'm okay with that. I'd rather create for people that I vibe with, I guess I could say. It's like, some people ask, you know, like, oh, well, would this be a good thing to talk about? Would this be a good thing to stream? And I'm like, I don't know, would you like to see something like that? Because if you like that kind of content, I guarantee you, it is going to be very hard to be the only person ever in the world, I was like on this earlier, to like that specific thing. Is usually gonna be, oh, that's kind of cool actually. It's very, very hard to be the only person ever who likes something. That'd be a pretty damn specific and unheard of niche, basically. And, you know, sometimes things aren't as popular as others, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. It might take a little bit longer to find who you like in that regard, or rather, you know, your audience that'll like you. But it's kind of just, I mean, that's kind of like your own priority, right? It's like, I think a way to put this. Oh, that looks kind of cool, yo. I like that. Let's save real quick. I guess the best way I can put it, it's just, I definitely have different priorities in a lot of regards of focusing on what people like, rather than what would be good for me. And when I say that, it sounds like it has such negative connotations, but the thing, it really doesn't. It's just, because that's the thing, the things that I like are what, it's just seeing those reactions. I like giving people that feeling of just, I don't know, just belonging, I guess. I don't even know if it's the right term here, because that sounds really edgy, but in a way it's like, a lot of people still struggle with that. Like, a lot. It's definitely something that I've seen a lot of people just be lost on. And it really sucks to see. And it sucks even harder to, like, go through. I know it does. There's a lot of that. It's just like, you know, what am I doing, you know? Why do I like this? Why do I like that? Do I even like this or that, or am I just like, you know? It's a lot, it really is. On top of, you know, other stressors or whatever. I need to drink water, my lips are dry. I probably eaten more sugar than I should have. And I mean, between my ups and downs, because we also have our moments, right? Like, I noticed that I have like this, a lot of people think that I'm like very collected, I guess, and like know what I'm doing. And honestly, I appreciate that I am able to put that out correctly, because a lot of things I do, I really just kind of bullshit together on the fly. Like, things that and like a lot of the advice that I give isn't necessarily like advice per se, it's just how I feel about certain things. It feels very grounded because, like, I'm kind of, I wouldn't say brutally honest in that regard, because that means, like, you know, oh, well, you actually did this, or, you know, it's like, usually when they say it's like a negative way. For me, it's like, I'm just being real. Like, I remember one time, I was reading this person's post on like Amino or something like that, back when that app was still working, where it was like, this was like a few years ago, where they had reached their 18th birthday, and they're just kind of like, bro, what do I do with this? Like, I can't, like, nothing like really changes with this, and I just kind of like, you know, this isn't really the best advice, but it's mine. It's from experience. Take that as you will. And I was basically talking about how, like, you know, there's not really gonna be much that's gonna change like that very quickly. And honestly, adulting is just gonna get harder, generally speaking. But the thing is, too, it's like, you just gotta find things to, you know, pull together. I say that as in, like, you know, get your shit together. I don't even mean it like that. It's just like, you know, there's small things that you like here and there, things that happen. It's just like, you know, oh, you know, was a good day, and yeah, man, today, like, it's not necessarily like things are gonna be great per se, like a lot of the time, but it's okay. It's still better than, you know, nothing as far as that goes. It's kind of like when people talk about their progress as an artist too, you know, it's like, it kind of applies to life, low-key. It's like when people talk about, you know, oh, my art, you know, is improving so slowly, or my art looks the same as it does, or, you know, not even that, it's like people will look at, all these great artists and be like, I want to, like, you know, like, it's not even, like, good, it's this wrong, and it's like, take something you drew a year ago and compare it to now. If you see anything different, you're still improving. People all change different paces, different influences have different effects. I like how the lines make it like naturally, like the stuff is flowing through them. That's really cool. But I mean, obviously everybody has their own experiences, but for me it's like, you should never compare your personal growth to other people, because that is not your personal growth, that is their personal growth. Everybody changes at a different rate, people go through different things, there are very many factors that go into your work, especially creative media work, aside from just you being, you know, getting good, basically. There's a lot of things that will start your growth from different periods and things that will help you and accelerate it. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I'm sure you guys are aware in the OG server, I was going through a horrible art block period where I just didn't draw anything for like a solid 2 years, basically. And my art, anytime I tried to draw again, was even worse than before because of how long it had been, and that discouraged me and blah blah blah. It was kind of like a vicious cycle. But when Zai started talking to me about, you know, different stuff, different techniques that he had and all that, and also just seeing him, that's what I'm saying too, it's like, it goes back around to like the passion aspect too. When I saw like his art, the care he puts into it, the effort, it's like, man, I'm not gonna lie, I don't know if he's still here or not, but he probably killed like 70% of my art block. Like, just seeing his art and how much like personality is in it, how much care is put into it, how much I don't know, it's just, it's very inspiring to me to see that. It's definitely a big factor what pulled me out of my art block. A lot of it is definitely, if you can like make art friends, then you should, in my opinion, because it definitely helps you in like pulling inspiration from each other in that way. I'm not sure how I want to do that. I guess I'll do it that way. I'll just leave it like that. Maybe not. Yeah, I'll do that. I mean, yeah, it's just, again, like thinking back on that too, it's like him just existing pulled me out of my art block basically, because he didn't do anything different at the time. He was just kind of doing his thing. And that's still like, I drew a lot from that, just seeing it. And I hope that eventually I can have that effect on somebody, you know, and anybody that I can. I love seeing that passion. If I can inspire more of that, then hell yeah, you know? I love to see that show. I love to see people just pawing off just the pure passion between, like, whatever the hell they're doing. I don't care what it is. I want to hear it. I want to see it. I just love seeing that kind of stuff, man. And when you see just all of, like, the effort and emotion in Zai's work, I'm telling you, and he really has been an inspiration for me. It's wild. It's wild to me to see how, and it's hard for me to put into words, but it's definitely just a lot of emotion. It's the best way I can think of putting it, but it's just too vague when I say it like that. There's a lot of energy, I guess I could say that, in his work. And it's definitely, like, changed a lot of how I saw my own work, too. Because before, I don't know. It was weird. I don't know how to describe it because it's like kind of how I feel about my art now, but like it's like a second side of the same coin, where it's like very self-detrimental in a way. I was very hyperfixative on. See, I didn't worry that much about my style when I was drawing. I kind of found my own relatively easy because of like Atomic Games, like different styles between that. I just kind of pulled what I liked, and that's kind of what I got used to. It's just, like I said, it's just kind of figuring out what you like and what you prefer in your art, basically, and learning how to do that, spending more time perfecting that. But I feel like it's hard to say. It really is. I feel like I didn't want to study, like, actually. I spent too much time, like, I want to say almost priding myself on the fact that I didn't, like, really study that much. And that's kind of dumb, honestly. Like, it's how you learn, is studying. I did say to experiment a lot, but like I feel like I put too much emphasis on like the whole self-learning aspect and not enough on like the you can look at other, like you can do both. You can look at other resources too, and you know, still learn from that. I'll use this one. That's what I use right now. And it's, or I guess, hang on, I'll do this first. And then it's over the top. Okay. Wait. Yeah, okay. Still gonna do that as silver. Oh, that was white. Hello. That's better. And a lot of it too is like, it's depending on how it's presented, I guess. Like, but not. When Zaya was teaching me about how, like, color relevancy, you know, like, the whole, like, color is relative thing, I heard that statement, like, so many times going through, like, you know, people's art and all that, and I keep hearing this term, and I'm just like, okay, I don't know what that means. To be fair, my dumbass never really looked into it that much, so, like, I guess it's also probably a timing thing as well. That's still too white. That's too green. A little bit lighter. There we go, that looks better. Major difference, I know. I'm not picky, you are. But the thing is, like, he's changed a lot of how I see color exactly because he, like, explained the whole color relevancy thing in a way that I understood. And it's like, I'm sure that's other things that explained it in a similar way, or, you know, this or that, but, I mean, A, finding it, and B, it's like... Is this the right... Yeah, okay. Let's trace this. Like, you can present the same information in, like, a different way, or different examples, and just sometimes they just click, you know? And it's funny, because, like, he would always say, you know, like, he doesn't know how to explain things correctly or this or that, but it's like, maybe not to certain people, but, you know, it's sure as hell has helped me. I learned a lot about, you know, different color schemes and just figuring out what does and doesn't work, basically. It's really improved my art a lot as far as, like, colors and stuff go. Anatomy is still my not strong spot, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I keep forgetting to use references. Like, at this point, I literally just forget. But I have been looking into using them more, and I have been doing much better as a result, I feel. But with me, you know, a lot of my stuff is, you know, colors, and because color is good. I mean, look at my damn model. He shaded this too. I think I mentioned that like a while ago. But I think it's just color is good, color pretty. And when I understood how to use them better, it really just it changes a lot. It really does. I felt much happier with my art when I learned what I did.
I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. I feel this pain, you already know.
Almost out of water.
Let my money show. I've got these things that I can't let go. Watch me turn this life into something that you can never own. So fight and fight.
But
For the things you know you love. Do what
I forgot how I was gonna color this. So even stuff like this, you know, it's like I always loved rambling about this kind of stuff, but I don't know, I always got shit for it a lot of the time. And it's like I get it, it's not their thing, right? I can't just say blame them for that, but it's some kind of hurt, I guess, is the best way to say it. Like, it just like, honestly, one second. Something like that, I guess, and then up to it's like this, but like this. I don't know, it's like when I finally was like in an environment where my rambling and brain rotting and all that was like welcome basically, if not even encouraged, that changed a lot. Like, that changed a lot of my own perspectives too. Because, you know, I always did want to be like that person who could be that for people who didn't, you know, because I mean, I already have been doing that in that regard. You know, brain rot to be about this or that, you know, do whatever, and I just genuinely meant it. But I guess that is part of how I've been upgraded, question mark, to that whole server mom status. But that's the thing, it's like, for me, it's just, I don't know if I call it like natural or that regard. Because it makes it sound like I'm being like motherly or whatever. I'm not like actively going for that, I like being there, you know? I like helping people out. When I met you guys, like my friends, I didn't expect it to get to the point where we have it now, you know? It really is amazing to me. Like, a lot of people would say that we're really small scale or whatever, and it's like relatively speaking, yeah, but it's just still amazing to me either way. I can't figure this out. I have to stop being sappy for a second to figure this out. Hold up. Or something like that, I guess. And just like... like this. Come to that extent? Let me try doing the rest of it first on the underside here. I forgot what I was rambling about. Damn it! I had to focus on this because I was trying to figure it out. I've been up for a minute, but there. And I just explode into little sappy rambles like that sometimes. It really does depend on like how the day has been going, I guess, and stuff like that. But more blue. Is there anything on this layer? That's what I need, this one. Oh, why is into the accent? Maybe this. Something like that. And color really is relative. Either that or I'm just like, alright, duh, I'm fucking stupid. I had it on opacity, of course it's gonna be. I guess I'm just... Oh, did it not? I guess it just is that dark, okay, yeah. Okay, delete. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Okay. I'm finally resuming where I was rambling up, but I forgot what I was rambling off to, haha! But, I don't know, I'll probably just being sappy about my friends. But, the thing is, like, I just like being there for y'all. Y'all have been there for me, and I'm just very happy that we can have that kind of community. It means a lot to me, it really does. Just be able to talk to everybody and do what they like. Get them to talk about all the stuff, all their, just, yeah. You know? It's something that inspires passion within me too. I'm gonna copy this and like, both with the, oh right, it's gonna be over the, you know what, take that back. Just go over it. There. Is this layer? Oh, right, the silver. So oh, wait. Alright, I'll take that. We'll have like the glowy shit on there too. Where's the layer that I put that on here? Here. Yeah. Oh, my. What? I just been really gushy the last few streams. I don't know, it's just nice to be here. The thing is, like, I like looking at my VODs too afterwards and figuring out, you know, what I can improve on or this or that. Trying to figure out ways we can improve things that aren't, you know, budget heavy. Stuff like that. And it's fun to see you guys' reactions too, you know, what I do and get in the server. I just like hearing it. I like hearing about what I can do to make myself better for you guys. I feel like that's a valid like. I need to work on designing this character more, like writing him out more. Like, I have a bunch of dumb little headcanon ideas for him. Think about some. I still think that we should like put together like some kind of like. I wouldn't say I guess a script would be a good word for it. Just like. Kind of like a mini story, basically. I did want to try my hand at like narrating, I guess. Like I don't necessarily feel like I'd be good at the voice acting, like character person. I want to have any amount of practice in it first. Like I have not really messed with it per se, but I do know like I can get energy when I want to. I've noticed that in my streams, whether I'm conscious of it at the time or not. I have the energy. I just need to Oh. Just need to use it. I feel like I'd have a lot of fun narrating in that regard. I also got a lot of inspiration when I was watching Epithet Race, and I was seeing like there's an audiobook for how they describe the things and how Brandon like read it out. It was very entertaining. I never thought I would have gotten that much entertainment out of an audiobook before. To be fair, I never really messed with them. I never really thought about it like that. To me, the audiobook was always more about, you know, the book or the contents or whatever. I didn't realize how much love could like go into like the narration and the voice acting and all that. It was actually a really... I did want to see more of that when we have time, but... It's... Again, it's another thing that's like inspiring me to like think about other things I can do to like expand my horizon, or... I guess the way I could say it, like, yeah, expand my horizons or whatever. Definitely something I'd like to mess with. At least give it a try, you know? We'll see how it goes. There's a lot of progress I have in the back of my mind, but I only can maintain focus for so long in a day, much less have the time, I guess, between, like, content I do want to get out, you know? I have a lot of stuff planned, man. Like, a lot of it's just trying to figure out how to get it to work right, or, you know, saving up and buying the game, in a lot of regards. I wanted to get a capture card, but we did end up going for the GPU, which I do not regret at all. I stand by how we did that. It was... I love this GPU, bro. And it really is great that. I don't regret that decision at all. But I would like to get that capture card eventually for exclusives and games that we don't already have on the PC that cost $60. I'd also have to start streaming some visual novel titles too, like an automate titles or something like that. Am I saying that? Is it automate or is it automate? I really don't know. I'm fucking brain dead when it comes to pronunciation between languages, or just pronunciation on things in general. But I don't know. I really want to stream more of those titles. Like, I have a bunch of physical copies of them. If you can get me to willingly buy a physical copy of a game, then you've done good in my book. Because, yeah, I just have yeah. One that I really want to go through on stream is Collar X Valis. Like, you guys have seen my comfort character, like, through time, there's been one character that has proven a comfort character to me that will just always, like multiple years have spanned, and whether I've been playing the game or not, you know, whether I've seen it recently or not, I'll still go back to him because, like, his character, his story, it spoke very personally to me, and I just resonate, because he's literally just identity issues, the character. It's Shiraishi from Color X Valis. Because you guys know that I love my psychology asshole bastards that, like, you know, dude. And it's just, Shiraishi has those... not tendencies. He has those aspects of both, like, you know, like, again, the psychological, analytical, you know, bitch, like, you're gonna do this and then this, and like that kind of attitude where, like, they're a cocky asshole and they're damn right to be so because they do things, you know, get things done or whatever. It's like, he's that on the outside, but also on the inside, because, like, he does know how to do that, but it's great to me because he's also, like, I don't want to spoil too much. I do want to play this game on stream, but he also has, like, those Nagisa styles, like the hyper-aware characters. With the psychoanalytical stuff comes, like, the hyper-awareness, and I'm just so weak for characters that, like, don't know, basically. Like, they know everything about everything except for themselves, like how to interact and where they are, and it's just, to me it's very, very endearing in that regard. It's why, like, I'm really weak for, like, Nagisa and characters like that, so it's like, it's both. Shiraishi is, like, gotta be one of my favorite characters from any visual novel ever. Just, there's a lot to love about that, man. I really want to play through, but I need to get a capture. Well, I mean, technically with my homebrew, I don't need a capture card, but I'd have to mess with it. I'd have to see the quality of the stream. Because I really, really want to start streaming those titles. They're just so near and dear to my heart. They really are. And, like, I haven't actually played them in a minute. Like, I'm not gonna lie, a lot of the visual novels I played, I unfortunately have not. Either things in life came up or this and that, and I never really finished them, like, completely. In Cafe Enchante, I started Mizuo's Route, and then, you know, shit came up. And then in Color X Malice, I did Satazuka, Shiraishi, and Okazaki. Okazaki was first, and then I think Shiraishi was second, and then Satazuka. Okazaki was first, but his route hit very hard. It actually influenced a lot about how I saw how I wanted to interact with people, I guess. It's hard for me to say, but he definitely changed a lot about how I felt about going through life. Okazaki's route hit hard, man. But, there's stuff like that, like, Color X Mouse is a very, because of, like, how, you know, analytical it is in that regard, it's definitely one of my more favorite titles. But even then, it's like, I did not finish, Enomoto's route, and I did not do Aishi's route, and therefore I didn't do Psyche's route either, you know, the ending, basically. And Psyche messes with my head, but like in a good way. In a very good way. Psyche honestly influenced me in a lot of ways that he probably shouldn't have. But at the same time too, it's like taking the medium, you know? There's this one. Should be fine. Because I like this color better. It's like, wait, no, let me turn it on with the hair again. Oh, that looks really cool. I like that. That's a good color. He's starting to look like a bitch. I actually like that. Yo, it looks cool. I'll worry about shading and stuff later on that, but... You know, maybe I'll put that into next week's schedule. I'll have to look into it and mess with it, but... I have until tomorrow to put on a new schedule. I'll figure out what I'm gonna do then. I'd really, really love to start streaming Otome games. Like, honestly, it's just... They definitely, obviously, with, you know, my character fixations and whatnot, they have had a very big influence on what I like in the character and all that. Where does this layer go to? Huh? What is this? Huh? I just kind of like an extra. I'll just merge it down, it's whatever. Okay, that's that. That looks so cool, I like that. And I will be shading all this eventually. I don't know when, but eventually. Like, actually correctly shading it. And drink some more water. I should not have eaten all that candy. Oh my god. Let it be known that if you eat a family-sized bag of Crunch every day, it is stressy as a, adolescent, I guess. It will catch up with you. What? Maybe I should stream... Oh, I could do Code Realize, too, because a lot of you, of course, haven't messed with those games. Code Realize is always like my favorite like suggestion for like a starter Otome, because like it's just it goes into like some pretty good story without getting like too like deep into like psychology bullshit if you don't like that. It has both. It's a very well-rounded starting Otome for like anybody who hasn't played it should if you like Otome. Like it's just I'm very weak for Honestly, all of them in their own ways. Van Helsing is the one I'm the weakest for, though. I just... Man... Listen, if Junichi Soabe voices a character, I already love that character. I'm sorry, I just... Something... It's very... His voice is very comforting. And... Oh man, I'm just like... thinking about it with the fucking... wait, God, wait, I make so much sense right now, I know I do. The new song with Adam, it's like everybody's talking about Abara's high note, and like, yes, Abara's high note. But can we talk about Nagisa's real quick? Like, I was pounding the floor. I was losing my shit over Nagisa's high note. It lasted very briefly. It's like right before Abara's like a minute in. But oh my god, it's so good. Losing my mind over that man. I don't know, just that voice, it's just... I don't know, you guys know that I'm very heavily into voice as in general. It's definitely a defining factor in a lot of whether I like a character. Why did I put this over that layer? But shit, where was I going with that? I was talking about the new song that just Junichi Soabe voiced characters in general. It's just I am so weak for them, dude. But also Saint Germain in Code Rise is really he's a very, very, very close second to me. Like, I don't know, he'd probably be the most stable of my favorite characters in general. Like, I don't know how else to put it. He has a lot of the same energy of characters that I like, but like without being a red flag. Or, you know, the entire color red. But he's very soft, but he's still very mischievous in that way too. Saint Germain was one of my first like hyperfixations. It alternated between him and Van Helsing a lot. I'm thinking. I definitely want to play... I want to play numerous ones. Pure Fury I'd have to wait on. It's definitely a lot heavier in a lot of regards, and I'm not... I want to go through it, but I need to get back in the headspace for it, I guess. It's something that I'd have to be a lot more consciously aware of in order to comprehend it right, you know? I really... And Pure Fury influenced a lot of things that I like in general. It made me realize a lot about myself. A lot of things that most people shouldn't realize about themselves. But it's definitely a title I want to play with on stream. I want to go through that. But it's hard because it's definitely a more mature themed title. Sometimes I don't think it's that bad or whatever. But then, like, I start talking about it in, like, other servers or whatever, and they're like, okay, tone it down. And I'm like, dude, I just scratched the surface. Damn, okay. Like, it's hard for me to... I really do want to play it, though. It's just... Is this the color I use, or is this... No. What color do I use for my lines? This one. Is that really how it went? That's not the same. Yes, it is. Okay. Alright, because that's how multiply works. Ah. How long have I been up? Almost 2 hours. Give me one quick second. I gotta go check out something real quick. Okay, I'm back. I'm debating because it's been a couple hours. I've droned off sufficiently, I feel, and I'm not going to do the thing I've been doing lately where I keep forgetting to do Society Live, and it's already 6:30. There's a Saru in a box. What you gonna do? But oh, she's waiting patiently. Since this is because you're here just kind of watching the whole time, it's actually really endearing to me. But I am sorry. What? Yes, I love you, Saru. I always love you. What do you? What do you mean, crazy? You are a good being. Of course, like that. You did. Hello. Strange. Yes, we love Saru, of course. You're like, look at you go! Then you are doing your thing. You're like one of Pippi's biggest fans. And funny, like you and Tofu are like my biggest competition right now for like watch hours. I know you will. Yeah, that's why I resonate with you. You can go on top of its horn. You'll be right there. I tried. But it is you! Yeah! But yes, I'm like, there's me. Meh. Okay, sorry. I'm like, yeah, the little squishy babbies. Ah! The little babbies, yes. But I feel like I yes. Oh my god. But yeah, I think I am gonna log off for tonight. Tomorrow I don't think I have anything planned, but I will be putting out. Well, let me double check actually. I gotta make sure. I still feel like, even though I put in some extra content that I wasn't originally planning, I still feel kind of bad for, you know, fucking up with my tech issues. It's something I could have, like, really helped. What did I say I was gonna, did I say I was gonna do anything on Sunday? Let me see here. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I kind of just bullshitted together the schedule. I was like, yeah, that sounds good on that day, lol. Yeah, Sunday I don't have anything planned. If I do the controller mod, I might stream it. I'm not sure quite yet. Quit playing with balls. That was cute. I do enjoy playing with my balls. God damn it. But yeah, the bot will be here, and I might do something tomorrow. I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure yet. Oh my god, I'm gonna be okay. But yes, I am gonna chill. It's funny actually. It's been like the opposite. Like when I first was like still getting my shit together, I was like, I'm gonna go work on this. I'm gonna go work on, you know, things for my media, and then I would just sit there and like play Final Fantasy. Now it's the other way around. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna play Final Fantasy for me. I'm gonna like sit there and play the game, and then I don't, and I sit there working on my damn card or something, or like trying to like network or whatever. It's, I don't know. It's a headspace change. It really is. And fuck, I need to finish that art trade. Damn, my mind is. But yeah, as always, I really appreciate you guys coming and listening to me just popping off about whatever. Yeah, I'll see you guys in server. I'll be there. Thank you guys so much for just existing. It means a lot. It means a lot that you exist. but near me, you know? I appreciate you guys a lot. Here, I don't know if I can... Oh, you get a block. They all go wee indeed. Alright, I'm gonna head out from here. But again, thank you guys a lot. Bye-bye. I'll see you guys either, maybe tomorrow, and if not, then, I'll put out my new schedule, tomorrow at least, so we know what's up. Thank you guys so much.